it was interesting in his response that his children are vaccinated. He felt that it was a tool, and as a parent, he wanted to, make sure they were safe. Uh, with Christmas being less than 2 weeks away, just want to remind everyone to support their local businesses, small businesses. It's been a rough almost 2 years, and they are the backbone of our community. And we're so blessed in all of our downtown hamlets to have many lovely shops and restaurants. So it's an opportunity for us to support them. So while putting the finishing touches on your shopping list, just reminding everyone to shop local. Also, the last day to donate to the Town of Islip Youth Bureau's toy drive is this Friday. So if you could bring an unwrapped toy to any of the locations that we've got. Also, their coat drive is still underway. There are boxes outside of 401 Main Street. And again, people are in need, and it really does help make a difference. And lastly, our holiday light show has returned and is being operated Tuesdays and Thursdays at Brookwood Hall. It's free. And really, to the staff of parks, they really threw themselves into it, decorating and putting everything out there. And it's a really enjoyable experience for families to drive through. It's open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30. And hopefully we'll see you and your families there. So with that, on behalf of the entire town board, we wish you all a really, really happy holiday. Uh, Let us move then to the town board agenda. And we'll start with our scheduled public hearings for the board's consideration. I'd ask Town Clerk Olga Murray to please read the hearing notice.
Thank you. Today's hearing is to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code, Schedule G, stop and yield intersections, and Schedule J, parking, stopping, and standing regulations.
Are there any questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the changes, close the public hearing.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And there are no other public hearings scheduled. At this time, we will move then to the public portion. We do have a number of cards. Just to remind everyone, you have 3 minutes to speak. It's our opportunity to hear from the public. Again, it's not a question and answer period, but we're here to listen. And our first speaker, everyone has 3 minutes, and there is a timer, yes, right there. And our first speaker is Jim Schlau. Jim?
Congratulations, Mr. Bergen, on the election.
Thank you.
And you did a great job on the veterans for the television channel. I think it's 18. Nice job. The video audio, very well done. I'm a veteran myself. I appreciated that. You also did something else that was quite nice on St. John the Baptist. Very good job.
Thank you, sir.
And I wanted to bring up, remember, I worked in the sciences most of my life. 7 years at Stony Brook Graduate Chemistry and 20 years at the Merchant Marine Academy as a science instructor. I was dismayed to see the park on Orland Drive. The trees are going down. Why would they take the trees down after big fires in California and Washington and Australia and in Spain? These are very nice carbon sinks. They hold the water when there's a flood. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. And it also helps with the noise in the neighborhood. I've been here 1,000 times about that. To give you an example, I got years of this. With the loud parties, let's see, call 5:30, nothing. Call 6:50, nothing. Call 8:07, nothing. Call 8:35, nothing. 9:35, called again. 10:02, asked for a supervisor. You know, people are starting to show up at these meetings now because it's spreading all over the place with these parties. They're very loud. I would like to get a car parked out there with one of these Class D amplifiers in it and see if you could hold a meeting with that kind of noise. Your guys here would go out and shut it down immediately. So at 10:32, a supervisor did show, and they shut it down and turned it up again. Didn't end until 11 o'clock. We had another one a mile and a half from the neighborhood, from my house. Didn't stop till 1 o'clock in the morning. I can hear it in the basement. You know what I'm saying? You know, people come here and they make complaints. I wish I had the complaints that Sayville and Oakville had. That's all I really got today. I wish we would save the trees. Some towns are doing that. But, thanks for the veterans, show. Really well done, very well done.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your service as a veteran. And to your point about the trees, right now we're installing a new turf field in Central Islip, a soccer field for our youth. There is some clearing that's taking place on Lowell Avenue side of the park, but we will be replacing a lot of those trees with shade trees, and also a lot of the clearing that's taking place is, especially the underbrush, is for public safety concerns. You have to have visibility into the park, otherwise it's not safe.
You have that Susan thing over there. Everything's getting paved over. You know, with the kind of like Manhattan.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, next speaker, Fred Kornman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have some handouts I'd like to give the council here. And you'll see when you read the documentation, retired senior inspector, I hope you don't mind, I have all my shots, of the U.S. Customs Service, 15 years at JFK Airport. And I'm here to address a couple of issues. First of all,
We need your name and address for the record, sir. We-
Frederick Orman, 12 Larkspur Drive, West Hudson, New York, 45 years. Supremacy Clause of the Constitution very clearly delineates that federal law supersedes any state law if they address the same issue. We're talking about this bogus marijuana nonsense which ex-Governor Cuomo managed to push through for recreational use. If you check the Constitution, as long as the federal law is consonant with the Constitution, states may not enact laws. So the present law is illegal and it must be repealed. That's point number one. Point number two, marijuana is not safer than alcohol, more addictive, and is used first by addicts to frequently move to stronger drugs. I spent 15 years arresting people and dealing with criminals. I've also worked overseas, as in the first paragraph, in 5 different countries. I know something about drugs. And I can tell you, the people who are addicts, just like alcoholics, have the same tendency to increase the dosage because the smaller dosage doesn't work. And then they go to harder drugs in the same session. Okay? DEA has marijuana still on Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is for drugs that have no demonstrated medical use. That's another issue. I'm going to go into that. Okay? But this idea that marijuana is safer than alcohol is nonsense. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. I can't say it strong enough. And alcohol, wine, is classed by the Food Drug Administration as a food item. Ask any chef or cook. When they make a dish, they want to make sure that it's a kettle of wine is served with the dish. And finally, I have medical evidence, which I presented to all of you, that marijuana is dangerous. The THC content is 65 to 70% now, not 5 or 6% like in the 60s. And it's going to hurt children. It's going to be used at home. Parents who would not smoke a cigarette will bring this garbage home. And like I said, I've got 3 pages of medical testimony. So it's not just my opinion. It's my experience worldwide, professionally. This law is illegal and must be repealed. I mean repealed. I don't mean modified or watered down. And any town that starts selling this stuff is a violation of federal law, which I enforced for 15 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gorman. And everything you've stated today is probably part and parcel of why this legislative body took the vote to opt out of the sale of marijuana in the town of Islip. But your comments are very well articulated and probably should be shared with our state legislators if there's any, move at any point in time to look at repealing what they've done, this certainly would give them the reasons to do so. Next speaker, Andy Cross.
Andy Cross, Bayshore, New York. And once again, I'm here about the NYS real property law on my tax bill. Although the last time it went up stagnant 41%,
Thank you, Mr. Cross. The information is exactly not accurate, but we're not going to get into that. Next speaker, Irvina Law.
And we had some success with public safety, Mr. Prudenti, and Ms. Carpenter, et cetera, Honorable Ms. Carpenter, did ameliorate the noise issue that takes place on the Maple Avenue dock to a certain extent by placing guard patrols late night from 10 to 3 in the morning. Unfortunately, the noise issue persists even now, out of season, from Labor Day on, it's went crazy. And it is daytime, nighttime, and at 5 a.m. I don't drive down there till daylight, when it's maybe 5:36 in the morning in the summer, but you can imagine hundreds of cars, and people in the town are aware of it. I'm here today to enlist the board. I have been writing to board members perhaps a year and 4 months, and maybe a year and a half, to enlist your support to make efforts to ameliorate the situation. The noise committee has proposed certain things that have taken place to an extent, that is, the guards in the summer have taken place. We think that we need a gated entry from the second half of the dock, past where the restaurants have reserved parking for their guests. We don't want to disturb that. But the drag racing and the partying and the hundreds of cars that park happen about the place where there's a no entry sign to the end of the dock. We think there should be better, larger, and more appropriate signage similar to the Bayshore Marina. really hasn't taken place, although a couple of signs were posted. We think speed bumps should be there because to stop the drag racing, they speed like crazy. I mean, I've lived on the point across the water for more than 40 years, and there have been cars that have gone into the water. I am surprised that these people racing have not fallen in. Funnily enough, there is one sign on the dock, which is so funny because it's no diving off the dock. That sign exists. But there are no signs about the noise ordinance. And we think, and we're going to meet with Public Safety Office in January, I hope, we think the noise ordinance has to be amended to reflect not just neighbors and neighbor noise, but public noise like this with the town attorney. So we're going to make efforts in that regard. And that's what I'm here to say, and I'm hoping that there'll be people on the board who will support us as Ms. Carpenter and Mr. Prudenti from doing, so that we can ameliorate the situation.
Thank you. And I'm delighted to hear you acknowledge the efforts of the Public Safety Division. They have been very diligent, but we just have to remember it. But we just need to remember that it is public. It's a public space. So to think about gating it and, eliminating access really isn't something that's going to happen. So we need to be realistic. Okay. Thank you. Joanne Bistolik.
My name is Julie Pastola. I live at 149 South Connecticut Avenue. I too am part of the South Connecticut Association. I have called the police numerous times, probably on a nightly basis. And I too appreciate and realize what you and you have done for the safety. But like everyone said, it's really not enough. And I'd like to present to this video, this audio. This is my neighbor. And this is at 3 a.m. in the morning. So you can hear music coming from the marina. But at 3 a.m. in the morning. And it went on for quite some time until we, until the cops finally came. But this is like what we're dealing with on a nightly basis. My kids wake up in the middle of the night, they can't sleep. I know there was, I can't imagine what happens when there's no police presence or no gated community. It's a public, it's a public property. I understand that, but like homeowners, I feel like there are gates. So that's something that I'm advocating for, and I think we could, talk about resolution, everything that we said, the speed bumps, I think it's really helpful.
Okay, we're listening. Thank you. Okay, that is it for the cards. Do I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, the public portion is closed, and we will move now to the agenda. First item being the meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I'll call for a motion for this board to convene. Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor, opposed, we are convened, a quorum being present. And John Walzer, if you would.
Supervisor, good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the agency board. John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip. The first order of business today is to approve the minutes from the agency board meeting on November 16th, 2021.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
So that's Maple. So it's really close to
Maples right
So the next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Lincoln Realty Development on Lincoln Avenue in Holbrook. This project involves the construction of 150,000 square feet of building space, actually two 61,000 square foot buildings on 10 acres of vacant industrial land. The construction and equipping of this facility represents over $10 million of capital investment and promises to bring a minimum of 50 new jobs.
Any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran,
Second.
second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for consideration is also an inducement resolution between the agency and Gracewood Estates LLC. This project off of Spur Drive in Islip is seeking sales tax only benefits consistent with our existing uniform tax exemption policy.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullin, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for consideration is an authorizing resolution for the East-West Industries expansion at 2002 Orville Drive North, Ronkonkoma, that we induced at last month's meeting.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullin, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
The next item for consideration is also an authorizing resolution for the Designs for Vision expansion at 10 Orville Drive, Bohemia, that we also induced at last month's meeting.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullin. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The next item for your consideration is a resolution authorizing the agency to enter into a one-year agreement with MRB Group for their cost-benefit analysis software tool. The annual cost is $1,000.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
The last item for your consideration is a resolution consenting to a restructuring of ownership of BVG Bayshore LLC, 66 Spur Drive in Bayshore.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullin, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
That is all the business I have.
Okay, no other business to come before us. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. The motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullin. The Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency Board is adjourned. Thank you very much, John. Next on the agenda is the meeting with the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency. I have a motion to convene
Motion.
by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We are convened, a quorum being present. Commissioner Baloo.
Madam Chair, members of the agency board, Marty Baloo, 401 Main Street, Islip, New York, the president of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency. I have several items for consideration tonight. First of which is the approval of the minutes for the November 16th, 2021 agency.
Okay, I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are approved.
Next is a resolution authorizing the president to enter into a contract between the agency and the New York State Compensation Fund for the administration of deferred compensation plan to employees of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency for a 3-year term.
Any questions? Motion? A motion by Councilman Mullin.
Second.
Second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And the last item is the resolution authorizing the execution of the management services agreement for the calendar year 2022 between the Islip Resource Recovery Agency and the town of Islip for providing solid waste support services.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Mullin. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Thank you very much.
Business and this board.
Thank you very much. You too, Marty. Next item on the,
Motion to adjourn.
oh, I'm so sorry. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullin. All those in favor? Opposed? The agency board is adjourned. We will move then to item 3 on the agenda, authorization for the supervisor to execute a management services agreement for 2022 with the IRRA for the provision of solid waste support systems in the town of Islip. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. We move now to item 4, authorization for the town of Islip Animal Shelter and Adopt a Pet Center to accept monetary and non-monetary gifts and gifts of services from the public and/or businesses for the calendar year 2022. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Takes us to item 5 on the agenda, meeting of the town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone. Motion to convene by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullin. All those in favor? Opposed? We are convened. Brad Hemingway.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the FTV Board. Board. My name is Brad Hemingway. I'm the Executive Director for the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Authority. We're located at 1 Trade Zone Drive in Rockland, New York. I have a number of items for your consideration this afternoon. First item being the approval of the minutes from our October 19th, 2021 meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board.
Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Second is authorization to renew landscape contract with Milano Brothers Landscaping and Design for a term of 1 year.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Lastly, an authorization to enter into a cleaning and janitorial service agreement with Odds and Ends LLC for, again, a term of 1 year with an option to renew for 1 additional year.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And any other business? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You too, thank you. We will move now to item 6 on the agenda to clean up and secure certain properties within the town of Islip. Mr. Walsh, nice to see you.
Supervisor, members of the town board, Michael Walsh, deputy town attorney, 55 Main Street, New York. Just some housekeeping matters, supervisor, numbers 1 to 3. Drawing this line, number 1, because the new owner on that property, the deed was filed subsequent to the notice, so that has to be noticed now. And with respect to items, number 3, property number 3, has been withdrawn, the file marshal is working with the homeowner. We're going to monitor that property very closely. They might have to come back before the board, but at this point, we don't have a.
Okay, go ahead. If you could just speak a little louder.
Oh, I apologize.
Thank you.
Number 2 is an application to the board of the premises located at 22 Andrew Avenue, Islip Terrace. On the statement of the property, there is a hole in the roof at the back of the main structure, which constitutes a nuisance, usually it results in fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing is provided to all persons if their property is consistent with.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 4, an application for the board to clean up the premises located at 156 Grant Avenue in Islip. On this property, there now exists a vacant lot with 5 grants of some vegetation, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire safety and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons of the property.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 5 is an application for board to clean up the premises located at 627 Fourth Avenue in Bay Shore. On this vacant unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows with overgrown vegetation, litter and debris which constitute a nuisance and present a fire safety and health hazard. Notice that this hearing was provided to all known persons with property interest in the premises.
Thank you. Any
I have a
questions?
question.
Certainly. Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, wasn't this item just before us, Mr. Town Attorney, on a change of zone application, the same property? Isn't this the old Declan Twins
Yes.
bar?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't this board just do a change of zone on this very piece of property to allow that property? I'm Councilman Cochran, I know you're familiar with the area, right?
Yes. I recuse myself on this vote.
Yeah, so
About 3 months ago.
Mhm.
So would this thing that moves forward today, the resolution that moves forward today, we move forward and boarded up and cleaned up this property, that would go as a lien against the current property owner?
Correct.
So when they went to sell to the folks who have the planned change of zone, they would have to satisfy that lien to the town?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 6 is an application to the town board to clean the premises located at 695 Broadway in Brentwood. On this vacant unsecured property, there exists unsecured windows and doors, the main structure, holes in the garage roof and walls, overgrown vegetation, litter and debris, all these constitute a nuisance, present a fire
fire safety, and health hazards. Notice this hearing was provided to all persons with a property interest in the company.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Thank you very much. We will now move to item 7 on the agenda. The bid awards. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. We will move then to item 8, option year resolutions. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next are the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Hearing none, motion? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Next item on the agenda, item 10, authorization with the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider a 1-year contract with Brentwood Legion Ambulance Services to provide emergency ambulance services for 2022. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted. Item 11, authorization for town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider a 1-year contract with Central Islip Hop for providing emergency ambulance services for the district. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next, item 12, authorization for town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider a 1-year contract with Community Ambulance for providing emergency ambulance services for the district. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? 4 in favor, 1 recusal. Motion carries. Next, we go to item 13, authorization of the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider a 1-year contract with Bayshore Brightwaters Rescue, Inc. to provide emergency ambulance services for the district. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, item 14, authorization with the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider a 1-year contract with Exchange Ambulance Corporation of the Islips to provide ambulance services for 2022. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, we move to item 15, authorization of town clerk to advertise for public hearing for the purpose of considering the contracting of the Bayshore Fire Protection District. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second. By Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Recuse.
4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion carries. Next, item 16, authorization for supervisor to enter into various agreements for programs or events to be held throughout the town to be funded either by registration or grant funds. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 17, authorization for the supervisor to execute a vehicle lease renewal agreement for a 2006 14-passenger Ford with the Suffolk County Office of the Aging. No cost to the town. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to execute a quick claim deed conveying property located at 141 Jefferson Street, East Islip, to Michael and Joyce Amatrano. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 19, authorization for the supervisor to enter into a license agreement with Wet Pants Sailing Association to extend the current agreement for a portion of Protocol Marina in Sayville. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 20, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents in order to effectuate the assumption of an existing note and mortgage held by the town in connection with the sale of 38 Cortlandt Place in Bay Shore. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 21 is an authorization for the supervisor to enter into a lease with this, into a lease with the Sayville Cabinet for the Sick for the premises of 24 Collins Avenue in Sayville for short-term loans of various sick room medical equipment to certain communities in the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We will move now to item 22, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement and to accept the donation of services from NSPC Brain and Spine Injury to provide free spine examinations on a first-come, first-served basis to town employees on January 6, 2022. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 23 is an authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. 24 is an authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing on the transfer of the property located at 15 Holbrook Street in Bay Shore. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 25, authorization for the supervisor to execute an agreement for the grant of a public utility easement with the OPRHP to construct, operate, and maintaining, I believe. Yes.
We're getting hungry.
Marinated force main. That really sounds good. I guess it's maintaining a force main sanitary sewer pipeline within a portion of Southern State Parkway. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 26, authorization for supervisor to execute documentation exercising the town's option to renew its professional services agreement with M. Sininsky for the second one-year extension. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 27, authorization for supervisor to execute a renewal to its professional services agreement with M. Raimondo for the second one-year extension. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 28, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with John Jamata Consulting to provide professional services to the Department of Aviation and Transportation to remote Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents to exercise the first option to extend the contract for HVAC preventative maintenance and repair at Long Island MacArthur Airport with Commercial Instrumentation Services. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 30. Yes, okay. Is authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents with Sky Synergy to provide professional consultant services to the Department of Aviation and Transportation for development, implementation, and improvement of the airport's air service development program. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 31, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents to satisfy the loan with Parco prior to 360-month period with no prepayment penalty and extend the concession agreement. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, we move to item 32, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documentation required to participate in the Board of Cooperative Education Services for Nassau County in order to utilize contract number 19/20-045X Extension 2 to purchase vehicles townwide. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 33 is the designation of GVK as the preferred responder as to its proposal for mixed-use development in response to the town's RFP entitled Central Islip Development Opportunity. This is the next big step to the $10 million grant we were able to secure from the state of New York for the Downtown Revitalization Initiative for CI. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 34 is the designation of a North Terminal concept as the preferred alternative as part of the terminal narrative study for the Department of Aviation and Transportation at Lowell MacArthur Airport. This is kind of an exploratory opportunity. There have been a number of public hearings, and there will be many more opportunities for the public to opine on this as we move forward. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran.
Recuse.
All those in favor? Opposed? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is adopted. The resolution is adopted. Item 35, the final item on the agenda for the town board today is determination that the proposed rezoning of the property known as the Island Hills Golf Club will not be entertained. As everyone knows, we had a DIS hearing. The public made it abundantly clear, and this town board listened. And the idea of 1,365 apartments on that particular parcel was not something that this town board nor the community was supportive of. So this is really a statement to that fact. Certainly does not preclude any of the proposals from coming forward. And that's where we stand. Are there any questions? Comments? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. And that concludes our agenda today. As I said earlier, really wish everyone an absolutely wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Please, please stay safe. And on behalf of the entire town board, we want to wish Councilwoman Bergen good luck in her tenure as a member of the Suffolk County Legislature. Certainly, she will be so supportive of everything that we do here in the town of Islip. We wish you well.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
everybody.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
A motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. We stand adjourned. Merry